You are now in tune to the most intriguing podcast in the universe. Hosted by the scientist Leon Marshall. Are you ready for Marshall's Melanin PODCLASS?
Listen, I am fully energized.
Class is in session.
You gonna learn today.
I found it really enlightening, like educational as well. There were a lot of things I didn't know, especially with melanin and like all the benefits of melanin. So I found that very interesting.
I love it. There's so much information, you know, it's entertaining and it's just facts after facts after facts.
This is the podcast where science is made simple and learning is fun. Welcome to Marshall's Melanin PODCLASS. Now, here's your host, the scientist Leon Marshall.
Yes. Welcome, family. Welcome, everyone. My name is Leon Marshall, and you're tuned into Marshall's Melanin PODCLASS. Class 16. Big up everyone who's listening right now. Large up the people in the chat. I see you. Put some ones in the chat if you can hear me clearly, family. And let me know where you're tuned in from. Let me know. Yeah. Leeds in the building. Manchester. Essex, I see you. Yes, family. Thank you. And thanks for joining me tonight. I truly appreciate it. Now remember, these PODCLASSes are more educational than anything else. That's why I've called it a PODCLASS as opposed to just a podcast. I do these on the first of each and every month, so don't miss them. And tonight's class is going to be about melanin and beauty. Is black considered beautiful? Let's find out. Now I'm going to be delving deep into beauty tonight, family. And as always, I want the family to chime in as well. So later I will be opening up the floor so you guys can ask your questions, make your comments, or just tell me what's on your melanin mind. I don't mind what you say. Just be a part of tonight's class. Now I've created this podcast so we can all truly understand melanin once and for all. What it is and how it works. We must change the narrative around melanin if we are ever going to understand it. Changing the narrative means we need to change the language, change the way we talk about and describe melanin scientifically. And that change happens right now. So let's go.
I've been to quite a few and I've heard Leon talk at other events, and as usual you do come away learning something.
Listen, I am fully energized.
That is brilliant. It's just so informative, mind-blowing. It's something that, you know, it's just put me on a journey of knowing thyself. It's just fantastic.
Large up Nottingham in the building. Leeds, I see you. Essex in the building. Belgium in the building. Big up everyone that's tuned in. North Wheezy, South in the building as well. Family, let's start tonight, man.
I just wanted to know.
Tonight is about beauty.
I just wanted you to
Black beauty, melanin and beauty. Let's go.
Just the other day, said I ran into this beautiful lady. She asked me my name, and I told her it's Egyptian.
Yeah.
She said, boy,
tonight is all about beauty. And black beauty, to be specific. Do we value black beauty? Does anyone value the beauty of blackness? This is what we're going to find out tonight. Now let's not beat around the bush here. The fact is that the word black has many negative connotations. Why is this? Well, first we need to understand why there's negative connotations around the word black. We need to understand why there's negative connotations around the word black. So let's start here, for example. A couple years ago, dictionary.com were under fire due to the way they defined the word black. Look at this story. Did anyone see this? In this article, they go on to say that black women have criticized dictionary.com for the way it describes and offers synonyms for the word black. Some of the words associated with it, as it stands on the online dictionary, liken the term to dirty, depressing, inhumane, devilish, and monstrous. The negative associations do nothing for black people, nor reflect a positive light on them, said users on social media who called for the website to update its definitions. Many women of color argued that the definition is sinister and may allow youngsters to internalize the dirty image. Is this true? Is this true, family? Well, you know me, I always say science is simple because it's just logic backed up by evidence. So where's the evidence of young black women internalizing this dirty image?
I used to just look at my skin as like really dirty and really ugly.
See it there? And obviously she's not alone. Many young black girls feel or have felt the same way in the past. And you can't fault them for feeling this way about blackness, especially when you consider that ever since they were born, they've been getting conditioned to hate their blackness. True or false? Even as early as primary school, the conditioning was taking place. Check this out. This is a primary school textbook. On the left, there is an image of a very fair woman with the word beautiful underneath her name. And next to her is a dark-skinned woman with the word ugly under her name. Crazy. And speaking of feelings, on the right, there is another primary school textbook where the children had to draw the child's face to match the feeling. Interestingly, the happy and proud feelings were associated with white faces, and the sad and angry feelings were underneath the black faces. These were books that they were giving out to children, textbooks, yeah? It's crazy. Because of this conditioning from a very young age, it's no surprise then that if we were to repeat the very famous Clark doll experiment of the late 1950s, we'd probably find that nothing has changed. Are we all familiar with the Clark doll experiment? Remember?
In Brown versus Board of Education, the famous case that desegregated schools in the 1950s, Dr. Kenneth Clark conducted a doll test with black children. He asked them to choose between a black doll and a white doll. In most instances, the majority of the children preferred the white doll. I decided to reconduct this test as Dr. Clark did to see how we've progressed since then. Can you show me the doll that you like best or that you'd like to play with?
This one. I like that one.
Okay.
This one.
That one?
This one. I like to play with this.
And can you show me the doll that is the nice doll? And why is that the nice doll?
He's white.
And can you show me the doll that looks bad? Okay. And can you and why does that look bad?
Because it's black.
And why do you think that's a nice doll?
Because she's white.
And can you give me the doll that looks like you? "15 out of the 21 children preferred the white doll."
That's always a heartbreaking video to watch. At the end, the little black girl looked crushed when the lady asked her to pick up the doll that looks like her. She was like, oh, I'm the bad one. Oh, she couldn't even pick it up. She had to just push it towards the lady. It's a very uncomfortable video to watch. But if our children hate their blackness from that age, from a very young age, without any intervention, obviously they're going to grow up to hate their blackness when they're older. Like this young girl. If this is how she's carrying on at that age, then obviously, again, without any intervention, if there's no intervention between this age and her being a teenager and then becoming an adult, if there's no intervention, then this young lady will grow up to be this young lady.
What's wrong with you?
The Snow White set from Hushed cleanses, nurtures, and moisturizes your skin for long-lasting beauty. Hushed, let your skin do the talking.
Yeah, my bleach. And thank you, Donna. Donna just put in the chat that children growing up listening to Leo Marshall, the scientist, are not having that issue. That's true. That's the reason why I'm so happy when I do these events and you guys are telling me that your children listen to the podcast. You and your children sit down and listen to the podcasts. This is podcast number 16, family. So if this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome. But there's 15 more for you guys to go through with your family and your children and that sort of stuff. Very disturbing. And I see the comments in the chat. Yeah, very disturbing. But that should come as no surprise to anyone when you realize the hatred we have for ourselves. And again, we've been conditioned to hate ourselves. It's something we really need to check when it comes to knowledge of self, the way we hate ourselves. But like a great wise man once said,
who taught you, please, who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Very, very, very powerful speech. There you go. But some people will say that things have changed since then. That was a long time ago. Things have changed. And that we don't hate ourselves or hate our blackness today. Who believes that to be true? Do you believe that anything has changed since Malcolm X said these very famous words? Has anything changed with regards to how we look at ourselves, how we look at blackness, how we look at melanin, whatever you want to call it? I know some people don't like the term black. Melanated human beings. Has anything changed? Do we hate our blackness? Do we? Is black beautiful? Here's another question. When we think about black, because again, some people don't like that term. Some people say, we're not black, we're brown. So why do we call ourselves black? We're not even black, we're brown. So is black beautiful? Is black even a color? Because we need to understand that the colors we see are due to the visible light from the electromagnetic spectrum. People who have my book will understand it because I break this down thoroughly in my book, my debut book, The Hidden Science of Melanin. There are many vibrational frequencies that make up the electromagnetic spectrum. You have radio waves, microwaves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. All of these frequencies are part of the spectrum, but invisible to the naked eye. The only part of the spectrum that our eyes can see is the visible light emitted from the sun. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And this is an image taken straight from my book, by the way. So yeah, when you've got this book with your children, make sure you show them this. Sometimes you don't even need to read the book to them. Just show them how their melanated eye sees color. So for example, when visible light frequencies strike an object, that object is going to absorb or reflect certain frequencies, which determines its color. If those light frequencies hit a leaf from a tree, that leaf will absorb all of the light frequencies except for green. Green gets reflected back to your eyes, and that's why you see green. What about red? If you see red in nature, that's because that red object is absorbing all of the light frequencies from the sun and reflecting red. What about if you see blue? Blueberries. If you see blueberries, it's the blue that's being reflected. Everything else is being absorbed. I hope that makes sense. And Heather said, Elise knows. Yeah, from Roy G. Biv. That's how I break it down in the book. Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Yeah, so any color you see, that's the color being reflected back to your eye. So what happens when you see white then? When you see a white object, it is reflecting all the light frequencies away from it and absorbing none. Your eyes can't differentiate between the colors, so you see white. It's like confusion. It's like looking up at the sun. You're going to get that white light, all of those colors come into your eyes. All of a sudden, you're going to start blinking and seeing white spots. It's too much. It's confusion. It's all of the colors at once. But what happens when you see black? When you see black, it's because the black object is absorbing all of the light frequencies and reflecting none. So in essence, black is not actually a color, but the absorption of all colors. According to who? Leon Marshall? No, according to science. Listen.
So let me start a little bit with melanin. What is melanin? Melanin is a pigment that we find in our hairs, in our skin. It is something that we see as black. It's a black in color. And when you think of melanin, you think of UV protection. But in a whole different setting, melanin is actually used in terms of making colors. Melanin, when it is placed in context in a self-assembled structure, it leads to colors just like we see when we have an oil spill on the road. Structural colors are just like if you think about when you blow a soap bubble, you see them thinning, and all those shimmering colors that you see, which are red, green, blue, those are all structural colors. So imagine that you had all the colors from blue to red, but all composed of melanin. We can think of cosmetics, we can think of painting walls, we can think of food colorings. All of these things could be then now empowered by using of melanin.
Isn't that interesting? All the colors we see come from blackness. All the colors we see come from blackness. This is information I feel like could change young people's consciousness around blackness if they knew the truth about color. Understanding that color comes from blackness. All of the colors come from blackness. So what is color? Anytime I'm breaking down words and language, I like to use definitions and etymology to get to the root of words. So what is color? Now, most definitions will say that color is what your eyes see that is being reflected or absorbed by the light. Therefore, without light, you cannot see color. Yeah. But I like to take things a step further when I'm investigating, because as you now know, that light comes from the electromagnetic spectrum. So the visible spectrum is a very tiny part of the electromagnetic spectrum. That's the only part that our naked eye can see, and we see it as color. Now let's go even deeper into color and look at the etymology of the word. Let's see how this word has been used throughout history. So check this out. When you guys do your research, type in etymology of color and see what comes up. Chances are you're going to see this. So this is from etymologyonline.com. It says color, early 13th century. What's the first association to color? Early 13th century, skin color. Skin color. So as soon as you type in color, the etymology of color, they're talking about skin or complexion. I'm hoping everyone can see this. I know the writing's quite small, but it says skin color, complexion. So all of this, I don't see color, I don't see color. These are the same people that created these definitions and etymologies. In the early 13th century, anytime anyone said the word color, they were referring to skin. I hope we understand that. And complexion. And then I've underlined a couple things: complexion, appearance, hue. Color is associated with hue, yeah? And then look on the next line, it says meaning a hue or tint, a visible color, the color of something. From the 13th century, color as an inherent property of matter. Check this out, that quality of a thing. So color was associated with the quality of a thing. Or the appearance of a thing. And it wasn't until the early 14th century that I started to get associated with pigment and dye. But I find this interesting. And then look at that line at the bottom where it says color is associated with a distinctive mark of identification. So again, from 13th century, distinctive mark of identification. It's how you identify something or someone is by their color. This is not Leo Marshall's words, you know, this is the etymology of the word color. The distinctive mark of identification. That's how you identify someone, by their color. So again, all of this, I don't see color crew. That's confusion, because how are you supposed to identify people if you can't see color? So like it says there at the end, hence the figurative sense, as in show one's true colors. Show one's true colors. Wait, did they used to judge us by our true colors? Quote unquote, true colors. What did MLK say again? Because you know, when we start to talk about color, they'll always dash a quote from Martin Luther King back at us. What was Martin Luther King's famous quote that they love to use? I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Whew, that is a very powerful quote. Very powerful quote. But this is a quote that enough people, enough non-melanated people like to use when we Black people, or melanated for the people that don't like the term Black, when we Black people talk about color. They always try to throw this quote back in our face, like, see, one of your greats said this is what he said, this is what he said. Well, check this out. Let's continue with our etymology discovery. Let's break down the etymology of the word complexion. Now look, I'm showing you exactly where I'm getting my research from, so you guys can do your own research. It says mid 14th century, complexion is to do with your temperament, natural disposition of body or mind. Hold on a second. Your complexion is to do with your temperament. And then it says combination of humors. What's that about? Combination of humors. Yeah. Very interesting. This is the etymology of the word complexion. And then underneath that, it says the Middle English sense is from the old medicine notion of bodily constitution or general nature resulting from blending of 4 primary qualities: hot, cold, dry, and moist. Or humors, blood, phlegm, choler, or black choler. So humors was to do with your internal bodily fluids. Check this out. If you go onto Google and type in what does humors mean, especially in biology or humerus, it will say a fluid or semi-fluid of an animal. or historical usage of the term humor refers to the bodily fluids of an animal. Yeah. So when they talk about, and again, this is ancient physiology, they were talking about humors and humerus, they were talking about internal bodily fluids. In other words, they said that the bodily fluids determined your makeup, it determined your character, it determined your complexion. Huh? Let's go back here. Look, that last line where it talks about humors, it says the specific meaning, color, or hue of the skin of the face. That was mid-15th century. And then it says in medieval physiology, the color of the face was believed to indicate temperament or health. Did I read that correctly, family? Can someone just let me know, did I read that correctly? Does it say that on that last line, the color of the face was believed to indicate temperament or health? So your complexion determines your character. If we go back, look, this is not my words, this is their words. Your complexion determines your character, your temperament, and your health. And remember, that is determined by your humors. And your humors are bodily fluids, you know, like your blood, your phlegm, your cola, all of that sort of stuff. That's humors. They don't use that term anymore. Humorous means something else these days, but back then, your humors were the colors of your internal bodily fluids, and it determined your health. It was these humors that determined your character, your complexion, your health. I find that amusing, to say the least. Don't know about you guys, but that amuses me to learn that your health is determined by your complexion. That's quite funny to me. Dare I say it, humorous. But isn't that true today? Don't doctors use the color of your face to determine or try and diagnose your health? Family, what is a pale face usually associated with medically? If someone's got a pale face, they go to the doctors, their face is very pale. What is that sometimes associated with? Does anyone know any medical conditions that are associated with a pale face, health-wise? Yeah, so low zinc, low iron, yeah, anemia, low blood pressure, yeah. So to this day, they still use this human science. They still use the same science. They use your humors, your internal bodily fluids, to determine your health. They're looking at your face and looking at the color of your face, because the color of your complexion determines what's going on internally. I hope we're getting this, family. I hope we're understanding this. And let's go one step further. Let's break down the word hue then. Since we're talking about complexion and humors, what's hue? Look at this. First word associated with hue, color. Other words associated with hue, well, let's see. You got form, appearance, species, kind, and what's the other word, family? Can everyone see what that other word is? The kind. Form, appearance, species, kind, and beauty. Beauty. So hold on a second. So back then, your hue determined your beauty. Now, what type of hue could they be talking about? What type of complexion determines beauty? Now, this is why it's very important to understand your history and understand the history of melanin, to be more specific. Now, I've spoken about this book many times, but I spoke about it on a previous podcast entitled Melanin and Mummies. I think that's podcast 11. So if this is your first time tuning into a podcast, this is podcast 16. Make sure you check out podcast 11, where I break down melanin and mummies. Yeah. Now I talk about this book. It's called Mummies, Cannibals, and Vampires. And the author, his name is Richard Sugg. Very powerful book. In this book, the author breaks down in detail all the experimentations they did with melanin and how they extracted it from, one, the mummies, and two, African bodies in general over the years. Now, I'm just going to show you one page. I showed this page before, but I'm going to show it again tonight. And again, if you check out the Mummies podcast, go to hiddenscienceacademy.com/podcast and check out all of the previous episodes. Go check them out. They will blow you away. Check this out. What we got to understand is that these people use melanin for alchemy. So this section is called alchemy, alchemizing the corpse, the laboratory of the soul. How would they alchemize the corpse? So I'm not going to read all of it, but it says right at the bottom there, it says, although not everyone subscribed to this very precise recipe, the quasi-alchemical principles underlying it may well have inspired broadly similar uses of the human body. Take, for example, the formula given in a 1611 history of Ethiopia. They take a captive Moor of the best complexion, and after long dieting and medicining of him, cut off his head in his sleep and his gashing body full of wounds, put therein all the best spices, and then wrap him up in hay, being before covered with a cerecloth, after which they bury him in a moist place, covering the body with earth. 5 days being passed, they take him up again and removing the cerecloth and hay, hang him up in the sun, whereby the body resolveth and droppeth a substance like pure balm, which liquor is of great price. The fragrant scent is such, while it hangeth in the sun, that it may be smelt. Again, they take a captive Moor of the best complexion. And again, if you know your history, you know that they're talking about black folks when they say Moor. So best complexion, I wonder what type of complexion they're talking about. Interesting. Now, to quote unquote best complexion, these people know the truth. And I always say, when someone's revealing the truth, sometimes they don't reveal it face to face, they'll reveal it through their work. So they'll reveal it through TV shows or through movies or through music or through adverts. So check out this advert for number 7. Listen carefully.
Excuse me, but your skin looks absolutely radiant. Oh, thanks. Glowing, supple, shimmering. Did you splurge on that new cream with black pepper elixir? Sourdough starter. It's this. That's number 7. Yes. Great talking to you. Amazing skin.
The UK's #1 skincare brand. 3 for 2, available at Boots.
Do you understand that, family? Now, if you're watching the replay of this, I suggest you kind of watch that advert like again and again, because there's certain things that she said. She said something about a black elixir. She was like, your skin looks great. Did you use a black elixir or something? That black elixir refers back to what they were doing back when they were stealing mummies out of the tombs of ancient Egypt. They were making the melanin into elixirs. And this is from Evening Study. It says, mysterious elixir of life discovered in the Egyptian, revealed to be sewage. But what they were doing, they were making elixirs of the mummies, of the melanin. Yeah. So little things that they like to put in their adverts, she's like, oh, your face looks amazing. Were you using that black elixir? Because that's what they used to use. That's what they used to use back in the day when they used to eat us. Again, watch that Melanin and Mummies episode and it will blow you away. They used to eat the mummies and make powders out of their melanin and make black elixirs out of their melanin. It's crazy. But I'm hoping the family caught that. When you watch the replay, watch that advert again and listen to what the lady says. These people know the truth when it comes to melanin. Trust me. It's us that don't. And then when you start to realize the truth, you as a melanated human being, and you understand the truth and the history of melanin, yeah, you understand that people who don't have your type of melanin, melanin, they value it highly. They value blackness highly, so highly that they ate it and made medicine out of it. When you realize that and learn that history, you'll start looking at things like this differently.
I need a product that I can really trust to restore my skin's natural glow.
Nivea Natural Fairness Body Lotion, containing unique berry extracts and UV protection to restore your natural glow and care for your skin.
Hello, here to pick up your sister?
Mommy!
Mommy? Wow, such beautiful glowing skin.
Reveal your natural glow with Natural Fairness Body Lotion from Nivea.
Now, I hope everyone caught that. Did you catch that, family? When the advert started, the sis was dark skin, and then she puts on the Nivea cream and turns light skin. Jeez. And trust me, Nivea, oh my gosh, Nivea are not the only one. Nearly every year, some skincare brand has to come out with an apology for some blatantly racist advertising. I don't know if you guys remember the Dove one. Dove has some racist adverts in the past. There was the one where it looked like the black woman was taking off her skin and then a white woman was revealed underneath. Dove had to come out and apologize for that, and some other brands as well. But Nivea has done quite a few. Trust me, when it comes onto skin, they tap dance around the elephant like crazy, but the truth does still come out. So Nivea accused of racist advert after showing product lightening black skin. Obviously, there's always some controversy when they bring it out, but I know a lot of you know that they do this on purpose, because any publicity is good publicity. So they do these things on purpose, and then they turn around and act fake confused. Oh, we didn't realize that was racist. Oh, we're so sorry. Now everyone's talking about Nivea. So when this happened a couple of years ago, there were a lot of interviews on TV, people talking about, are Nivea racist, and was it racist for them to do this? And here's an example from Good Morning Britain. Now, what I want you to listen to is listen to what the presenter says with regards to how she defends Nivea. Listen carefully.
Pale for centuries here in the UK, largely because those who worked in agriculture were tanned, and if you were inside, you were richer. Now, we spend a fortune on fake tans. I had a very messy hour last night, and my sheets bear the testimony, slathering on fake tan, because my horrible white October skin is not pretty at the moment. So, you know, we all have different things, and I'm not doing that because of anything other than I think it looks better, my skin to look darker. I'm not making a kind of racial statement.
Ah, did you hear that? She thinks it's better for her skin to look darker. She said her horrible white October skin. Why would she think that? She is the epitome of beauty. She lives in a society that puts white over everything. Why on earth would she think or even say that about her skin? You know why, family? Because she don't rate her skin. She don't rate it. In a system that puts whiteness above everything. Certain white people that still do not rate their own skin, which I find amazing. This system is so strong that it makes black people not love their blackness. But then white people don't like their skin neither. They rate your skin. She said it herself. She said that she looks better with darker skin. And she's not the only one that rates your skin.
Other girls are like, I can't live without having my nails done, this, that, and the other. I just can't live without having a tan. It's pure and simple. It makes me happy. That was in my life. Remember I told you I was so dark? I love Instagram. That's my most liked picture. It's got 1,580 likes.
Look at that. So it's called blackfishing, family. I'm sure everyone's familiar with blackfishing. Very popular thing on social media where they darken up their skin with fake tans and makeup to look black because they believe that this looks better for them. Yeah. They rate blackness. They rate melanin, which I find observation. White women putting up pictures where they look darker, whilst black women will be putting up pictures where they look lighter. So white women are doing this, and then on social media, a lot of black women are putting filters on all of their pictures. Is it just me that's noticing this, or is anyone else noticing the difference between how white women putting up pictures, making sure that they look darker, using fake tans, using makeup and that sort of stuff? But a lot of black women, I'm sure it's not all of black women, but a lot of black women, as soon as they put up a picture, it has to have a filter on it and or makeup, and they have to look lighter. Everyone's putting these filters on their pictures. Now, some people will say that's harmless. It's only a filter. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that it's hard to identify you when you don't look like your pictures. Going back to the original definition of color as a distinctive mark of identification. These days, you don't know who's who. Like, I'll give you a quick story. True story on my Facebook. I don't really use Facebook too tough these days. But like a lot of you, when you started up Facebook, people who were from your school or college would find you and friend request you. And a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago now, actually, a woman added me on Facebook and it said that we went to the same school. But when I looked at her profile picture, I didn't know who it was. So I'm thinking, who's this from my old school that's added me? And her name's Siobhan. I don't know this woman. Who's this? I'm there looking at her profile picture like, who is this woman? So I'm flicking through Siobhan's pictures, thinking, who is this light-skinned chick from my school? And I'm flicking. And then I find an old picture of her, like from 10, 15 years ago. And I'm like, oh, Black Siobhan. Black Siobhan from school. Oh, okay. I know it's who. Yeah, I remember. I'm there calling up my brethren. Remember Siobhan from school? You know? Nah, Black Siobhan, remember? Yeah, Black Siobhan. Yeah. Yeah, she just added me on Facebook still. Yeah, man, she's doing all right, man. She's doing all right. No shade, by the way. No shade. But this is the world we live in right now, where dark-skinned people can't put up a picture showing their true complexion. And where white or light-skinned people can't neither. No one rates their true complexion these days. And science is simple. It's based off of observation. You guys try this out. Tell a dark-skinned woman that she looks dark and see if that don't offend her. Tell a white woman that she looks pale and see if that doesn't offend her. It's mad. And social media is making it worse. You can't believe what you see on these apps these days. I mean, for those of you who are on Instagram, when you see Instagram models with a lot of followers, you know, doing those fitness videos, you gotta be wary of what you're looking at.
Tan preciosa, una niña muy hermosa, está linda, cariñosa, chula como bella rosa, muy tan dulce, una ternura, muchacha tan linda, tan bella mi amor, la princesa con una sonrisa que alegra mis días, ¿y qué quiero yo?
Interesting. Now, I saw a comment in the chat saying that you're still suspicious of people saying they want to be black. Well, they may not want our troubles, but they definitely want the melanin. Case in point, and I've shown this video before, but it's fitting for what we're talking about today.
Am I allowed to say how old you are?
You are.
You're 53.
Thank
look
you.
amazing. You look about 21.
Love you, Holly.
You really do. Wow.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I want to be black because I will have to.
Thank you.
I want to be
Brilliant
black
slip.
because I will have to get fantastic.
Thank you.
I want to be black because I will have to get It's just the elasticity in it is there. There's nothing. It's just perfect. It's like a piece of marble. Anyway, moving on to the focus of the swimsuit, you can wear a really fantastic bright print. So we've got this lemon.
Freudian slip there. I want to be black. I want to be black. I love it when they're honest though. That seemed like it was an honest statement that she made. And there's a lot of them that feel that way. They want to be black. But here's the most important question of tonight, family. Here's the most important question of tonight. Do we want to be black? Do we want to be black? Is it just me, or does it seem like every time we get money, we black folks, I know some people don't like the term black, so we melanated folks, anytime we get money, we run away from melanin when everyone else is running towards it. It's like everyone knows the importance of that thing, melanin, except for the people who have it in abundance. Strange. Like, even take the animal kingdom, for example. Do you know how important melanin is to the animal kingdom, family? Don't take my word for it, but do you know that the black snake is considered the most beautiful of all the snakes? Do we know this, family?
Now this is one beautiful garter snake. This is an all-black melanistic garter snake. Melanism is the opposite of albino. So instead of all white, he's all black. He's got black eyes, black skin, black tongue.
So the black snake is considered beautiful. Notice that he didn't say dirty. He didn't say the black snake is considered dirty or ugly. No, it's beautiful. What about the original black beauty of the animal kingdom? The horse. Do you know that the Frisian horses, the black horses, are considered the most beautiful in the world? Their skin is considered beautiful. Their hair is considered beautiful. They're held in high regard. Again, don't take my word for it. Listen.
That is a beautiful animal. Now, this is Frederick the Great, the world's most beautiful horse. And you are Frederick's owner, Stacy Nazario?
Yes.
All right, Stacy, hello, Frederick. You are a very, very beautiful horse, and a very large one at that. What is a Frisian horse?
A Frisian comes from the Netherlands.
And what were they originally bred for? He's a huge horse.
Well, they go all the way back to the Crusaders.
So this is a war horse.
Oh, yeah. He's a war horse.
And what makes Frederick the world's most beautiful horse?
Well, it is election year. And the world voted him the world's most handsome horse. Okay.
Interesting. So there you go. There you go. The world's most beautiful horse is the black horse. And they like to groom their horses, boy. They like to groom their horses so their black horses look the best. So on the weekends, the horses be getting their nails done, getting pedicures and getting their hair did. This is how they groom up their horses, especially their hair. Their hair be getting that treatment, boy. I wonder why, though. Why do they spend so much time on the black horse's hair? Maybe there's a market for their hair. I wonder. I digress. But it doesn't stop there, family. Did you know that the black maned lion is considered to be more attractive to the female lion? Did we know this, family? The black maned lion is more beautiful. Check it out.
If a male has a really good-looking mane, females go crazy over it. Lions actually have to be in really good physical condition to produce that dark hair on the mane. And males that are not quite so healthy produce a blonder mane. So the black mane is actually an indicator that this male is prime genetic material.
Ooh, prime genetic material.
And this really translates into something that's really important for the females because she'll get really good quality offspring by inheriting the vigor that's displayed by her mate.
Are you hearing this?
But it's also a staying power. He has higher levels of testosterone, the male hormone. He's more aggressive. It means he's going to be able to stick around successfully and protect her and her babies, and that means they end up having more surviving offspring. So the female lion is preferring a male who's going to be the better, more successful father.
Did you hear that, family? Did we notice the black maned lion is more attractive, more beautiful? And it's because of the blackness, which is associated with his staying power. That's what they said, or great genetic material. Listen.
In the Mapojos, Makulu had the darkest mane and he was the dominant male. The dark maned males are really quite superior. They have higher testosterone. When two males are in a competition with each other, we expect the black maned male to defeat the blonde maned male. So we did this repeatedly, and the females adore those black maned males. Give them a choice between a black maned male and a blonde maned male. It's the black maned male every time, just about. Now he did the same sort of thing, putting out 2 dummies at a time to male lions. In contrast to the females who really adored those black maned males, the males avoid the dark maned male. That's really too scary. Okay? What's really interesting about this then is that the mane is actually indicating, it reveals the male's physical condition.
What?
So the other lions can look at that guy and say, oh, well, you're in good shape.
Ah, you're in good shape because of your black mane. Yeah? Interesting. Because of your black mane, which is interesting because it's, so they're basing, he was saying that the other lion, the blonde-haired lions, if they see a black-haired lion, the black mane lion, they'd be like, I don't want to go over there because you know that's a stronger lion, more testosterone, you know. So they understand that their complexion, again, going back to what we started with, their complexion is to do with their makeup, their character, their health. Now here's a question. If the black mane lion is considered more beautiful, what if we were to, you know, drop the E, drop the lion, and just talk about the black man? Is the black man more beautiful? Let's allow some TikTok users to chime in. This TikTok user is about to explain why she likes black men. Notice the first word she uses.
Please don't break my heart, don't tear me apart. I know how it starts, trust me, I've been broken before. Don't break me again, I am delicate. Please don't break my heart, trust me, I've been broken before. I've been broken, yeah.
Oh Lord, let's stop it right there. I'm not one to use TikTok. These videos were actually sent to me, just for the record. These videos got sent to me, but it's crazy what people be posted on these apps, isn't it? Jeez, I mean, check this one out. Listen, and read that before I start. Read that, and then I'm gonna play the video. Everyone's busting up. Read this online, and if you're listening to the podcast as on a replay site, like on a podcast site, I suggest you go to the hiddensciencecademy.com/podclass and download the video to this so you can watch these videos. Yeah, hiddenscienceacademy.com/podclass. You can download the videos. But check this one out. Oh, I love it when white people are honest. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it when just white people, everyone should be honest, but I love it when white people are honest. Again, if you're watching the replay of this, watch that video again. What she said is what a lot of people think. So there you have it, family. Oh, let me show you one more. Again, when they're being honest, we just have to sit back and listen.
So welcome back to Tokyo to LA. We're here with
Emily B.
Emily B. Where are you from, Emily?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, that's awesome. So for you, black guys or white guys?
Black guys.
Okay, can you elaborate as to why specifically black guys?
Yes, black guys are melanated, and I want my children to survive. I want my children to survive. I want my children to survive, and I know that the only way for them to survive in the future is for them to have melanin in their skin. So that's the way for me to, make my legacy continue. Make my legacy continue. Make my.
Listen. When I say that these people know the truth, I always say it. Everyone's studying melanin but us. So there you have it, family. Black is beautiful. According to who? Leon Marshall? No. According to who? Black people? No. According to everyone else, I'd go so far as to say that everyone values blackness or melanin much more than we do. It's not even close. She hasn't even read my book, and she says that she knows the only way her genes are going to survive, her children are going to survive, is if she, you know, makes babies with a melanated man. She doesn't even have to read my book and she knows the truth. In my book, I quote Dr. Leila Africa, who says that melanin is the chemical key to life. It is the chemical key to life. All of these crap definitions that they keep on putting out, everyone needs to use that definition. What is melanin? It's the chemical key to life, which means no melanin, no life. So many people understand that except for us, where they're mashing up our melanin, bleaching, doing all these things, not realizing how important that thing is and how everyone values it. But then they teach us to hate our blackness. They put these negative connotations on it. So people are like, oh, I don't call myself black. Black's a negative term. Meanwhile, the people that have taught you that black is a negative term are stealing your tissues, your cells, your stem cells, your organs, your babies, all this stuff. They value blackness, but we don't. But that can all change overnight, family, if we just knew ourselves. Imagine if our children knew the truth. Would they grow up to rate blackness or hate it? I'm gonna let you put 2 and 2 together on that one. All right, family, I'm gonna open up the floor now. I see a couple hands raised, so I'm gonna go to you. I'm gonna open up the floor. If you have any questions or comments, you can either put them in the chat, in the Q&A, or go live. I'd rather you go live because this is a very important subject, family. How can we ensure that our children grow up to know the truth? So when they look in the mirror, they see beauty. How can we do that? That's the question for the family. So a couple people got their hands raised. Lower your hand if you don't want to speak. I'm gonna come to you now. So let me see. Marcia, if you can find your mic, you can talk. If not Marcia, then Jean. If not Jean, then Alison. Whoever can find their mic first, unmute. Alison?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well. How are you, sis?
Well, it's very hot here in Berkshire. I'm not sure if you saw the link earlier, but there's a link to the video the BBC came to my house when young man, Leon, asked me to spray his face white. I've just put it in the chat just now. It's 1 minute and 45 seconds. So when he did that, I just took a deep breath and I thought to myself, he's only been at school for 10 days, literally the first year of school. And the teacher said, well, we were just talking about what the sun does to our skin. And, you know, the sun, some of us, our skin goes pink, and some of us, our skin goes brown. But we had that lesson when Leon wasn't even here. He was in Jamaica. So we don't know why he's asking you to spray his face white. So I asked him, he said, well, I don't want to be brown. And when he said that, I said, well, why don't you want to be brown? He said, your dad's brown, I'm brown. Practically everybody that you love is brown. And then I had to talk him round, you know, like we're all different shades. He's slightly darker than me. And I just said to him, I explained to him at 4 years old, well, God gave you more melanin through your dad. So I think if you approach the subject correctly, the children don't necessarily grow up with a complex. They don't end up, you know, like we've heard stories of people trying to line up in a bath full of bleach and, you know, that sort of thing because they don't like the complexion. Every day you have to show him something about his complexion, his hair, his skin, little spots or little scratches or, you know, like the marks that are left after chicken pox. It's a daily thing with our children.
Yeah, it has to be non-stop. It has to be non-stop because, again, for whatever reason, as soon as they're born, they're conditioned. That's why that Clark doll experiment is the ultimate experiment. Like the only way we know that we're doing a good job is when we do that Clark doll experiment and the results are different.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? If we do the Clark doll
Definitely.
experiment and they say, which one's the beautiful doll? And they're still choosing the white doll over the black doll, then obviously our children, unfortunately, don't look at themselves as beautiful, which is heartbreaking.
You've got to tell them every day. And then I said to him, okay, for you, the word is handsome, you know, because you are beautiful, but I have to use the word handsome because that's the masculine form. And his sister corrected me. His sister said, well, you shouldn't be using the word beautiful. I said, well, essentially, he is beautiful, but I need to make sure he understands there's a masculine and a feminine. I wouldn't call myself handsome.
Right.
But some women have been called handsome. It's very sort of like interchangeable, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you, sis.
You're welcome.
Always love. Thank you. All right. There's other hands up. I'm gonna lower everyone's hands. If you want to speak, raise your hand now, because I've lowered everyone's hands. Sometimes someone accidentally hits the hand raise. All right. Let's see. Janice, if you can find your mic, sis.
Yeah, I think that we need to tell them about our heroes, Malcolm X and the like. Just keep on showing them. Rosa Parks, all the heroes that we have in history. Just show them, you know, that we're not just people who don't have, we've never invented things. Show them what we've invented, all the, you know, the inventors that we have. That's what we need to do. Yeah.
Thank you, sis. That's so important. That is so important for us to show them the heroes, show them, you know, Malcolm X and the people that came before them. What happens is, you know, life gets in the way and your children go off to school and like sometimes we just forget how important it is to do it on a daily basis. Like listen, I'm saying it has to be daily. It can't just be, okay, October's coming round, that's Black History Month. Let me tell them about Malcolm X and let me tell them about, you know, ancient Kemet or something. Nah, that needs to be daily, because the attack on their blackness is daily. Yeah, the attack on their blackness. And it's crazy, like I said in my talk, it's crazy how the attack is on us, but yet everyone's confused. The attack is on us, but yet everyone's confused about their skin. White people walking around, they don't rate their skin. They don't rate it at all. That's the reason why they won't even, you know what I mean, go outside with their quote unquote horrible October white skin. They'd have to put on some type of fake tan or go on holiday or something like that. How come you don't rate your skin? You're in a system that values your skin. This system doesn't, well, it does value blackness, but it makes Black people believe that they don't. So it's Black people that don't value their blackness. All right, is there anyone else? Okay, let me see. Marcia, sis, you can unmute your mic.
Greetings. I'm loving this podcast and I thank you for your work. You know, it's so crucial that we do this. I run a Saturday school for children ages 5 to 15. I've been doing it for 7 years and this comes up all the time. The levels of hate is extreme. There are children who they put bleach, actual household bleach, in their bath water because they think that's going to bleach them. There are children that cut their hair off because they don't like the texture, and you know, all kinds of tricks children are trying. A lot of our children, especially in the UK, go to schools where they don't see a lot of Black children anymore because we are in the minority. You know, and the reality is you can be the only Black child in a class, or even in there's just 1 or 2 in a year group, you know. So they don't have any positive reference points really. Other children might call them names. One particular child was so traumatized because every child in his school was calling him Pooh, you know, because you're brown like poo, you know, and this child was 4 years old. 4 years old and school wouldn't do anything about it. It's like, oh, they're only children. They'll, you know, let them work it out for themselves kind of thing. They just wouldn't address the issue. But how can a school address the issue? They'd have to speak with every parent and re-educate them. And it's not really, they're not in a position to do that. They haven't got the will to do that either. So, society we're living in, our children need to hear this. I'm always pushing the beauty of the melanin. Our boys call themselves melanin kings. I'll have to send you a video that quotes about the Melanin Kings. You
Yeah.
know, they once they connect with the whole idea of this superpower they've got, you know, and you
Mhm.
sort of speak to them in those terms, that you know, it really just opens up the world to them. It lifts that weight of negativity off the shoulders.
Definitely, sis. And thank you for that. And the fact that you work at Saturday school, like, again, if this is your first podcast, please go and download all the other ones and show the children, like, all the other 15, so they can learn about their blackness. Because one thing that this information will do, it will literally shift your consciousness. Literally, there's no way after learning about your blackness and learning about how powerful it is and learning about how other people rate it. I think that's an eye-opener for a lot of children. You may not rate your skin, but can you see how all these other people rate your skin who don't have your skin? They don't tell you to your face, but they rate your skin. They rate melanin, they rate dark skin.
Yeah, we're always told that we're wanting to be like everybody else, but there's also that. I mean, we're not necessarily going on the surgery, Botoxing for big lips or big butts, or, you know, burning our skin to the point of having cancer. I'm not saying what we do to ourselves isn't and can't be as detrimental, but they're going to extremes to try to have what we naturally have and often hate, you know.
Yeah. Thank you for
I
that,
love
sis.
that image of the horse.
Oh, the horse.
Excuse me. I'm gonna
Thank
have to be again. I've got a terrible cough.
No worries. Thank you, sis. Take care. All right, family. Thank you for that. There is a question. No, it says in the Q&A, it says, we are not black literally, but it is used by non-blacks negatively and black people used to use it positively, i.e. Kemet, black. Yeah, so in ancient Kemet, for those that don't know, ancient Egypt was once called Kemet, which meant land of the blacks. They were literally calling themselves black. And again, a lot of people don't like the word black, but if you go back to ancient Kemet, the word Kem or the hieroglyph Kem meant black. And when I say black, I just mean whatever you associate with what you see when you look in the universe. What is that? If that's dark to you, then associate it with dark. Actually, let me do that before I get off, because I know a lot of people have issue with black. So check this out. I don't have a problem with blackness, the word black, because like I've just said in my lecture, black is the absorption of all colors. And when we talk about color, we're talking about light. So if you're able to absorb all light, you are enlightened. That's literally what enlightened means, absorbing light. You're able to absorb all of the light frequencies. That is what your melanin does. That is what blackness does. So I don't have an issue with blackness. To me, if someone calls me black, that's a compliment. But I understand that a lot of people, because of the negative connotations, they don't like the word black. But what word do you want to use? When we're talking about blackness, understand, we're talking about melanin. That is what we're talking about. And some people will say, there's no such thing as melanin. That's what Dr. Sebi said. Dr. Sebi said, there's no such thing as melanin. He said, it's not melanin. Melanin's a European made up term. It's not melanin, it's carbon. Okay, so let's use the word carbon. We're still talking about the same thing. We're still talking about melanin. You use the word carbon, I use the word melanin. We're still talking about the same thing. So what are we arguing about? I use the word blackness, you use the word carbon. Still talking about the same thing, melanin. And then some people will say we shouldn't use that. We should call ourselves Moors. Well, again, if you know your history, you know that that word Moors is what they called black people. The word Moor literally means black. It means other things as well if you go all the way back to ancient Kemet, but it does mean black. So again, if we're calling ourselves Moors, we're still talking about melanin, family. It still goes back to the same thing. So it doesn't really matter what we call ourselves. For the people that don't like the word black, cool, run with another word. We still need to understand melanin. We still need to know thyself and understand thyself. So our children grow up and look in the mirror and see beauty or power or authority or whatever you positive connotation you want them to see. That's what they see when they look in the mirror. That's what we need. Do you understand? Because this is what they're teaching us. They're teaching us to hate what we see when we look in the mirror. But what if our children knew the truth, family? It'd be so powerful. All right, just to finish up, family, I've got some lectures coming up. There's actually a lecture coming up in Leeds. So big up all my Leeds family. This lecture is coming up in Leeds, the hidden sites of Black holistic health. I'll get my sister to post the link in the chat. So whoever's in Leeds, you can sign up to this one. Come down, that's going to be in September. VIP members, you get it for free. Any physical event we do, you guys get it for free. So you guys can come down. If you're in Leeds or around Leeds, come down to that lecture. Yeah, that's going to be at the Leeds West Indian Centre. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Leeds family. That's in September. This month, family, we've got the raw food meal prep course. So people that came down to the raw food taster session yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, raw food taster session in Brixton yesterday, and it was a taster preparing people for the raw food course that we're starting this month. And we're going to liver flush before we start this course, family. So make sure you look onto this course. Remember, VIP members get all of this for free. So become a VIP member if you're not one already. Just go to the hiddensitesacademy.com/register and register to become a VIP member. Very affordable for the family. And you get all of our events for free. You get all of our courses for free. And you get discounts on our wellness weekenders coming up. And you don't want to miss our wellness weekenders, trust me. And we've got a huge event coming up in October, family, the Hidden Science and Black Music. We're going to be at the Legacy Center of Excellence. That's in Birmingham, Black-owned venue in Birmingham, massive venue. It's going to be a shutdown affair. Me and the team, we're going to be in a hotel. We're going to be staying in a hotel that's only 5 minutes away from the venue. And we're going to make a weekender out of it. So we're going to come up on a Friday, Sunday, and there's quite a few people that have booked with us already. So if you want to book with us, come up with us on the coach, or just make your way up to the hotel and stay with us in the hotel and make a weekender out of it. So much fun, family. Get in contact with Sister Barbara. If you're in our WhatsApp groups, I can post her information in the WhatsApp group. If not, my sister can potentially post her number before we come off tonight. But she's the one to get in contact with if you want to book your hotels with us. If you don't want to book your hotel with us and you just want to book the event and come down on the day and spend the day with us at this event, then I'll just get admin to post it in the chat right now. If you're a VIP member, you get all of these events for free, so there's enough value in becoming a VIP member, family. And by the way, continue to take pictures of the book. This is how we shift consciousness, family. We have to do things like this. This is how we shift consciousness. Making sure that your children understand melanin. They understand that this is the chemical key to life. So large at the people who've been sending me pictures, I love it. Big up Jamie King here with the book. Enough respect, family. And this is Sister Monica from NY, from Brooklyn. Large up, sis, with the little one. Love these pictures. This is how we're going to shift consciousness, family. This is what we need to do. This is the beautiful sis from Belgium as well. So, and then this that came down to one of signings in Croydon. So large up all the family that's been coming to the events, large up all the family that's been getting their books signed all over the UK. Like I said, I'm going to be all over the UK all this year, and then I'm going abroad next year. You understand? We need to make sure this knowledge and information goes everywhere. So big up, family. So appreciative of everyone joining me tonight. Hope you learned some new stuff tonight. Make sure that if you want to become a VIP member, you go to the hiddensciencesacademy.com/register, or just make sure that you're part of our WhatsApp group so you guys can stay up to date with all of our events and everything that we're doing all throughout this year. Large up the people putting ones in the chat. It's all love, family, but we are now going to finish up. So let's finish up.
Genius.
Look in the mirror. What do you see? Beauty and your complexion go hand in hand. They are both determined by your humors. So labeling black anything other than beautiful is laughable. Or should I say, humorous. My name is Leo Marshall, and that concludes the end of PodClass 16. Thank you everyone for being a part of this. You're a part of history, trust me. And just remember, be the light you seek. Just shine, man. More light, more love, more life. One.
Thanks for listening to Marshall's Melanin Podcast. To download this episode, go to thehiddenscienceacademy.com/podclass. Be sure to catch the next class on the 1st of the month. And if you like this one, please share it with your friends and family. If you're on Instagram, you can follow Leon Marshall at The Scientist Online. And remember, keep shining.
do my what them can't do enough. The genius.